Hey guys, today I want to talk about expat anxiety. And is it real? It is real. Let me tell you, I've been working with a couple of people the past couple of days, and I can see the anxiety when a lot of the guys get over here. These two in particular have been having a hard time, and rightfully so on some things. Some of the people that are coming over here, their phones are old. When you switch them out and you try to put a new SIM card in these phones, for some reason they don't work. Some phones will not work over here. Some of the guys that are coming over here, they're coming over with like Cricket phones or some of the older type phones. They're kind of junky phones. The phones I recommend you getting to work over here that work better are Samsung or Apple. I tell people this, and a lot of people still come over here with these cheapo phones that they get. They just want regular phone service. They don't care about the smart service that much. So they get a regular junky smartphone or whatever, and they come over here and they think it's going to be okay over here. And a lot of times it doesn't work. I could play with these phones forever, and we go to these places like Smart or Globe, and we try to have them fix it, and they can't even get the phones working because of the fact that the phones just aren't compatible with whatever services are over here. And I've noticed this is happening quite a lot over here, and that's one of the big problems that people have over here. Also, that problem causes you a bunch of other issues when you go to log into your bank account or your credit card account or what have you. What happens is they usually see that you're logging in from a different IP address, and then they want to send you a SMS text or whatever, and you can't get it unless you have phone service back in the US or you have like a Google Fi or whatever. And Magic Jack doesn't work for that. And some of these companies, or some of these banks and credit cards are nice enough that they'll call you if you have a US phone number, and Magic Jack will work with that. If it's a phone call, it'll usually call you. Now, I'm not sure why, but somehow their security picks up on Magic App and Magic Jack that when it's sending a text, that it's going through the internet, and it won't send anything to you. So that becomes a problem, and it causes a lot of anxiety for these guys that are coming over here. But the biggest issues over here are actually quite small. And what happens is a lot of the expats, they make it into a huge issue because of the fact, and I'm going to get into more issues after this, because they're making it into a huge issue. But in reality, if they had planned before they got here, and maybe they had T-Mobile or something, because most people that come here, they come here on a trial basis in the beginning. I'm going to try it out for 6 months. I'm going to try it out for 2 months, and then I'm going to see what happens. They're planning on staying here. But a lot of them are saying, I'm going to stay here, I think, but I'm still not sure. I just want to try it on a trial basis. If I like it, I'll continue staying. But they've already gotten rid of a lot of their stuff back home. They've already kind of moved on from their past and already moved on over here. And like I said, if you want to come over here and save yourself a lot of money, lay down your home base. It'll make you feel a hell of a lot more comfortable over here, having a home base, having a place to stay that you can call yours. And then immediately you're going to be like, hey, this is my home. This feels like home. You're going to feel a lot more comfortable. But make sure wherever you lay down your roots, that you're close to all the stuff that you need. Don't just jump into the first place. I would say look around for the first month and then find your home base. When you see a place that has laundry around you, supermarkets around you, restaurants around you, and malls around you or whatever, if that's what you need. And some of you guys go off to the provinces and think you can survive out there, and some of the guys don't fend very well out there. They just don't last very long out there because things happen. Things happen in the provinces. It's a lot different. It's a different style of living, and there's no Western goods out there for the most part in those places. And that's why we move into these places fairly close to Manila, or fairly close to Cebu, or fairly close to Davao, fairly close to a city. A lot of guys like to move to those places. Not everybody. A lot of guys like to be far away, and they're okay with that, but they're used to living out in the boondocks or what have you. That's an airplane going by. They're used to living like that because back in the States, they probably lived far away from that. And now another thing I notice also is that veterans tend to settle in faster than non-veterans. We have some veterans here, they do phenomenal, and we have some non-veterans that they do terrible here. And I'm not sure why that is. I think it's because when we're in the military, we're used to living in kind of, crappy places, crappy conditions, and crappy toilets, and hardly any AC or whatever. So we kind of adjusted to the fact that we kind of have to live like that. So when we're in the service, you have to live like that. So when we come here, most of the places that we settle into are okay. We're all right with that. I do notice that some people that come here, we have a couple people here now. One of them in particular, he didn't like his hotel. Actually, both of them really don't like the hotel. I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but anyway, the majority of people that were coming here before have always liked that place. They've had a few complaints and stuff like that, but overall, they liked it. And we've had people saying, I didn't like it. But I myself even said, I'd like to stay here for a couple nights just to use the pool or something. I've always thought it was a nice place. And I probably still would like to stay there because I like the pool. I like that it's close to restaurants. You just jump on a jeepney, you go up to McDonald's, you can go up to KFC. You can go to a pizza place, wherever you feel like going. You can go there and you can get all the stuff that you need, and you're pretty much all set to roll. And that's the great part about, staying in a place like that. And a lot of people, they want more upscale, and they want their hotel to be right in the middle of everything. And the Philippines, the only way you're going to get that is if you go into Manila, or you're in downtown Cebu or downtown Davao or something. Most of the times, you're not going to get a place that's right near everything, right near a mall, right near food, right near laundry, right near all this stuff, and you can't get that. But around here, some people don't even want to go a quarter of a mile down the street or something, and you have to kind of throw yourself into the culture, or you're not going to succeed here. You're not going to succeed if you don't throw yourself into the culture at least a little bit. Me, I've been here 4 years. I don't eat much Filipino food. I barely eat any. I eat mostly American food, but I've adjusted and fixed my ways on what I will eat and what I won't eat. And I can, because of where I live, I can function like that. And if I went someplace else, I probably wouldn't be able to function very well. So you have to pick a place that fits your personality, your eating style, your what you're looking for, cleanliness factor. Where I live, it's a pretty clean place in town. There are some places that are worse than this. There are some places that are better than this. If I go to Alleviate, I can live like I'm in downtown Houston or Boston. It's very clean. It's very upbeat. Nice malls, very clean, nice people, more upscale, wealthy people. You're going to be in a place like that. It's kind of like Makati, those places. But if you live like here, you're kind of like, I can go downtown. I have everything I need, but I can leave the downtown area and 5 minutes away, I'm in a place that's I can look out in front of me. I can see a mile away from me, and there's nothing between here and that mile away except for maybe one road in between, and there's nothing on that road. We don't see any smoke. We don't see any pollution. We don't have anything coming over here from that area at all. It's really decent. But when you guys come over here, you got to kind of take your standards and lower it a little bit. And remember that you're going to be living for less than half the price you would back in the U.S. just on the rents alone. You're going to be living decent. And you can live very well. I have people here that are living on $1,500 or less in some places, and they've kind of lowered their lifestyle. They got it figured out. They changed what they eat. They went down to more like rice-based diets with chicken and things like that, and they know what they want to eat. They get their cereal and milk and potatoes, vegetables, and they actually, one guy actually physically lost weight. He did really, really good. And he does phenomenal. He lost like 20 pounds, 25 pounds. And that's the way to live, is come over here and adjust. And you can actually live healthier if you figure out your diet. You get up every day, you eat a certain meal, you cook your own meal. And here's another key that people forget. If you come over here and you have a girlfriend, I notice that people succeed faster. If you don't have a girlfriend when you get here, they succeed less. So if you start dating or something like that, the girls actually help you get your phone going. They help you get your settle in and find a place. They make you feel more at home. Don't do everything that they want you to do in the beginning, because they want you to get married to them or whatever, and just kind of go with the flow. I'm not saying you're not going to get settled in with them. Maybe they will be your girlfriend in the future. I'm saying foster a friendship with them first. Say, look, I'm maybe someday at some point we can get serious, but right now I want to settle in and get settled here, and then we'll see what happens. But let's go on dates and stuff like that. Take it from there that way. A lot of guys, they rush in right away, and that's the problem. That's what happens, and that's what happens relationships to fail, because they rush in. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And that's what happens in a lot of relationships. And it also happens with the Philippines. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. They go to these places that they don't know are not really good places. Some girls tell them, oh, it's great, come here. What you do is when you come here, then find your girlfriend. You know, and you'd be much better off. I'm not saying it's okay, not okay to find a girl online or something like that. It is okay. It's okay to find a girl online or whatever and settle with that. But, you know, if you want to get rid of these rookie mistakes and rookie anxiety and stuff like that, a girlfriend will take care of half of that anxiety right away because of the fact that she's going to help you. She's going to help you find places, help you travel easier. A lot of the problems here is people do not want to jump on the jeepneys. They do not want to jump on the tricycles. They do not want to jump on the buses. They're afraid for whatever reason. And some of the guys will jump on them right away. That was one of the things that helped me settle in the most, was learning the ropes. When I got here, I had to travel a few times, and I had anxiety. I'll admit, when I was traveling alone and doing my own thing, I had heavy duty anxiety. I mean, it happens to everybody coming over here sometimes. You know, you're alone, you're all by yourself. You know, unfortunately, I had my girlfriend, but I wanted to learn to travel alone. God forbid if something ever happened between the two of us, or if I broke up or whatever, or if I just needed to go someplace alone, I could do it. I wanted to be able to do it on my own. And that's the best part of having a girlfriend, that she can teach you that first, and then you're on your own. And that's what happened to me. So I was able to pick up on that, and it made me feel much more comfortable. It took me about 6 months to a year before I was really settled in and felt totally comfortable. But after the first 3 months, I got over that anxiety. The biggest anxiety here I noticed with the expats here is the banking issues. You need to talk to your banks and ask them, say, will you call me with these codes, or do they text? Can you have it? Because some banks will allow a call. And if it's a call, then Magic app or having an American type phone number through Google Fi or whatever these Google phones or whatever, phone apps or whatever, you can do that. And there's plenty of phone apps out there. But the question is, will SMS text go through that? Some of them have text, but it's a different type of text or whatever. And I'm not sure how that works. But it will not allow you to get bank codes through. And the banks pick up on that somehow with their security, and it just doesn't go through. So some guys pay like $45 or $100 for international service or what have you. And that's great. I think you're paying a lot for something you're barely ever going to use anyway. And that's not good. You know, you want to make sure that you have, you know, you don't overspend your money, because a lot of you guys are on limited budgets or whatever. And why spend all that extra money just to get a few text codes or whatever? You know, there's ways around it. There are some apps out there. I'm not sure what they are, but people can research that. I know a couple of other vloggers have done stuff on that. I know one of them got shot down because they found out that it didn't work afterwards for all banks. It did work for some banks, but it didn't work for all banks. So you really got to do your homework on that. I've done a little bit of research on it, and I guess Google does allow that to go through, but don't quote me on that because I don't have Google. You know what I mean? I've learned to do things through my bank now where they'll call me on the phone or whatever. I do have one credit card, though, that I've never been able to get into online anymore because they want to send me phone codes. So because of that, I can't get those phone codes. But what I did was I put my sister's phone number on there, and what they'll do is they'll send a text to her, and she can send to me when it comes in, but she has to be awake. So you have to plan all these things out, and that takes a lot of your anxiety away too. But remember, the biggest thing here that's going to help you with your anxiety, or cause more anxiety, depending on how some guys look at it, is this. If you get a decent girl over here, and she's cool with taking you around, and she's not always working or whatever, she can take you around and show you the ropes, show you how to use the jeepneys, show you how to get to different places, maybe show you a better hotel or better accommodations, or help you with your rentals or whatever. But the guys that come into my area, the greatest thing about here is that we all help each other out here. You know, we all, my group, we have a whole like team of people that will help work with you to get you settled in this area. And we still have places come up here and there, and we get people into those places as soon as we can. But sometimes you might have to spend some time in temporary housing here, and then we'll get you a place around us, and then you're better off. We used to put people into another place over in General Trias, and we're not sending people over there anymore for some reasons that I'd rather not get into on here. But anyway, because of what happened over there, we just stopped putting people in there because something happened there that was just outrageous, and we just stopped dealing with those people over there totally. And it was just a bunch of bull crap, you know, and it happened to sour me from that place permanently, and I'm not going to stick any more people in there. But anyway, there's tons of places in General Trias still available over there that we can find for you on Facebook Marketplace. But in Tracy Martinez, we have like 4 more places coming available, and I'll bet you 2 of those are going to get grabbed up right away by expats, and I'll bet you the other 2 will probably get taken up by expats fairly fast too. And it takes a lot of the anxiety away for people that are moving in here permanently to be in a place like where we live, because of the fact that we have expats here, because of the fact that we have everything nearby, because of the fact that we can get a ride anywhere just by walking outside your house, walking out to the street and jumping on a jeepney right outside your door practically. And that's the best part about around here, is that we have everything within a close distance. Both Manila, Alabang, Batangas, we can go on vacation easier. It's much more fun and much easier to have that. Anyway, guys, I want to talk about the anxiety thing, because anxiety is caused by a lot of the issues that you're going to run into over here, and they can be resolved. And if you're with us, we'll help you with a lot of those things. Some things we can't. Some of the things you have to plan before you get here. And if you don't do that, it makes it harder for us to help you. And if you're coming over here with old beat up phones, and we have like one guy right now that's having a hard time with his phone here, and he puts load on there like there's no tomorrow, and it's not doing anything. It's not working at all. It's because they're using these cheaper old beat up phones, and that's not working. The phone that works the best over here that I find is an Apple or a Samsung. You want to get a good phone, get an Apple. And I'm not talking about getting an old Apple. I'm talking about getting a fairly decent Apple phone, not an Apple iPhone 6 or something like that. You need like a fairly recent model. The same with the Samsung. Don't come over here with like the cheaper Cricket phones and stuff like that. Some of those phones won't function over here. You can put load on there all day. It's not going to work. We don't know why. We've seen some of these phones. We're not sure why they're not taking the load. We've done everything. We've brought them to Smart, and they can't fix it. So we don't know what the issue is. But anyway, guys, I want to put that out there today. I think it'll help some of you new guys take some of the anxiety away. If you guys also ever want to, talk to me, you can always email me. Just ask me for my email. I'll send it out to you, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. And I'll, most questions I can answer. When it comes to those text things, though, I'm not really too up on that much. There are other, you can look it up and research it online. Like I said, some of the vloggers out there put out some information. Some of it is not true, because a couple of the people have complained to me and said, well, I did what they said, and I found out that my bank will not work with that app or with that company or whatever. So you got to be careful. You really got to do your research. People are swearing by T-Mobile for their international plan, and they're saying that it works. That might be the best way to go, to have that for the first few months that you're over here. Make sure you get everything. Once you get your thing on your phone, on your computer or whatever, and you continue using that same service, whether it be PLDT or Converge or whatever, whoever is your provider for your Wi-Fi or whatever, once that's all set up, usually you don't have any problems after that. And like I said, remember this, some banks will call you on your Magic Jack number or your American number, and if it rings you over here, you're all set, because it's going to give you that code. Some will not, and you have to ask your banks that before you leave. That is key. Keep that in mind, guys, when you come over here. That's going to be your biggest anxiety booster, is if you screw up on your banking and you can't do any banking over here. That's another reason why you need Remitly and things like that, but you need to have all your bills all set up on auto pay, so they're going to get paid every month. Okay, so put those on auto pay. That's the biggest thing a piece of information that'll take away some of your headaches. If you have a international phone plan, make sure your phone's going to get paid. So put it on auto pay in your banking app, so it'll keep paying that every month, and you're all set. God bless, guys. Take care.